Hello and good morning. So glad y'all could make it in here today. For those of you who weren't on the early morning meeting, thank you for being here and good morning. So today in this session, we are meeting with Jeff Sanchez with Juzo. And Jeff has been a territory manager for Juzo for 15 years and has managed territories including Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Washington, D.C. He lives in Richmond, Virginia, and currently manages Southern Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, and is a team lead for the Northeast region. Jeff lives in an estrogen rich environment, including his wife, who is Atlanta certified CLT, three daughters, and two dogs who are also female, of course. So, Jeff is not only for all of that, I've worked with Jeff now for 3 years, well, since I came over to work with Compression Care, and I enjoy every time I get to talk to him. I think you're going to learn a lot from him. Please post your questions in the comments, and we'll get to them either as we're going if we get a lot, or we'll make sure we address all the questions at the end if we don't have a ton of questions. But feel free to post those out. There's also going to be I'll put a link here shortly in the chat, but there will be some documents that you can go to our webpage and check out some of the extra documents you can get from Jeff. So, but as of now, Jeff, I will let you take it away.
All right. Thanks so much. Good morning, everybody. I guess we can go ahead and go on. There's my crew, wife and three girls. I didn't put the dogs on there, but my cell phone is there. That is for you, not your patients, as with all the reps. So that's just, we are usually highly accessible, but we're not really supposed to be talking to patients since that's your customer, not ours. And but everybody at Juzo is first initial, last name at Juzo USA. So if you ever need to reach anybody, or if you need to know who your rep is, just call customer service, or you're welcome to reach out to me and I'll hook you up. All right. So I thought it was important today to get a little bit of a reset. I know as the dust settles from the LTA rush, everybody's kind of getting their new normal. And I thought that it would be a good chance today to just remind ourselves that we're best to help patients when we're equipped first. And it's easy to get lost in the fog, but if we can have some clarity in our own minds and what we expect, then we'd be good to go there. So I'm going to give you some resources to start with. The Juzo Academy, all this can be found on our dealer resource site or juzoacademy.com. But in here, you'll find webinars that are, on demand. Well, they're not on demand. You can sign up. There's a bunch of variety of topics. There's instructional videos if you need to give your patients a place to go to look on how to don a stocking, how to do this or that. So there's a lot of good information there, just as you're continuing with CEUs and that type of thing. Our Made to Measure Express, I'm still finding folks in my territory that aren't aware that we do have a Made to Measure Express fast lane for producing garments. Within 72 hours of Juzo receiving the order, it gets through production and is into shipping. Now, we are just one of the cooks in the kitchen, so you know that time can be taken up a lot with benefits and verifying all of that and getting payments and all that in place. But once we get the order placed, we do have a fast way to do it. The next screen, you'll see the things that we do offer for the Made to Measure Express, and you can get a PDF of this to have it a little more readable for you. But basically, our Expert, Strong, Soft, and Dynamic all have options. This is just the down and dirty, like getting your oil changed in the fast lane.
Sorry, did I go too fast there for you, man?
No, you're good. But
Okay.
a lot of people get caught up in everything takes so long. So maybe you may even need to, if it's a cash pay or something like that doesn't need that extra time to get insurance verified and all of that. This is just a good way. It's like, look, they're going on a cruise. They need it next week. what are my options? That might be the option is, well, they may not be able to, they may have to do the insurance part on their own and submit it when it's done, but at least we can get it in their hands kind of quickly. This,
One of the questions that came out about that, just real quick, is there an extra cost for the Express?
there's no extra cost for the Express. Yep. Now it is going to be no whistles and bells. So it's, I need a thigh high with a silicone border, that type of thing, beige or black. But like I said, when you're in a pinch, it does come in handy.
For sure.
So this Juzo digital app, if you search Juzo on either platform, Google or iPhone, you can find this free app that we've added this great tool, the decision tree. This helps you whether you're an established therapist already or if you're new to the game and just trying to figure out compression for the first time. This will really help you drill down into our product line, and it's picture driven, a lot of it. So it's like, all right, I've got a lymphedema patient, upper or lower extremity. This is what they look like, their stage, whatever, and it'll drill you all the way down to here's what we would, typically find as the appropriate garment for that particular patient. So you can either double check yourself with it, or you can just help, get to that place more quickly of being able to make a decision. The dealer toolbox, dealers.shopjuzo.com. This is everybody's welcome. You don't have to be a dealer to get into this portal, but you will need to register for it. So it's just a very easy thing. Go ahead to the next.
I'm sorry, man.
You're right. So at this web address, just click on that middle dealer portal there. It'll take you to a registration page. Go ahead. So it says, if you don't have an account, just click on the Dealer Resource Center and go to the next. Fill out that registration thing. It'll pop you back an email that says, we got it. Here's your temporary password. And then you can be able to get in. Once you're in, anything we've taken a picture of, all of our custom forms, all of our marketing materials, signage, patient pamphlets, most of this stuff does have an add to cart feature. So you don't need to rely on me or your local rep necessarily. If you're like, I need 30 of those lymphedema brochures because I'm doing an event, add to cart, it'll come straight to you. So it's a nice feature. It's a way to get resources in your hand quickly, and just so you can look and see. Most of these patient brochures are available also in Spanish or French. So if that's an issue in your area that you want, an other than English option, then that's a good way to get those as well.
One thing while we're switching here, the address for that, I don't have that address on my quick sheet for the, but anyway, they're asking if we could post that address in the chat. Is there a way you could shoot that over there? If you hit comments, you can see the comments there, and you could probably post that if you've got it. I definitely want to get that out. And Tricia, if I cannot get, if we can't get it in here right now, I will make sure to write you down, and I will, let's see here. Actually, I think I got it right here. Copy link, comments. Here it comes. Thank you. Sorry for the interruption there. I just want to make sure we got it in there for them. So
no problem. Yeah, on there also is a lot of LTA information and everything else. But our Power Symposium, this is an annual thing we do. It usually bounces between Vegas and Colorado. This year is going to be in Vegas. It's coming up in a few weeks. It's not too late to sign up. Really, the majority of the therapists in my territory will attend this virtually. We film everything and then edit it. So it's usually a week or two after the actual event that those are all made available to you, because we do have some live sessions and hands-on type workshops. So all that needs to be edited down and condensed for consumption. But I'll have therapists that will either close the office for the day and watch all the presenters, or they'll just have that available to them. It's available to you for a couple months after the event, so you can watch it at your leisure. You'll get all the handouts and everything else that are passed out at the actual symposium. But
And I got to say that on that, I've attended now for 3 years, and it's a great learning experience. It really is a wonderful conference. I would say that it's one, if not the best conference that's hosted here. So in the US, I really enjoy it every year. We learn a
yeah,
lot.
we really put a lot of work into it, try to get all the key opinion leaders and, cutting edge, who's doing what for surgeries and, thoughts for lymphedema and lipedema, and obviously the LTA. So, all the Medicare people will be there. So that's a great opportunity to be live, standing in front of someone to say, can you please answer this for me? We need some help. Plus a great opportunity to network with people that are also doing what you're doing. So in that dealer portal, that dealer resource center, we do have a button that is Medicare, but everything that we learn, everything that's been updated, the new fee schedules, everything else gets dumped into that silo. So it's a great, just everything in one place type of resource for you. And just a reminder, the USMCA is out there fighting for us all every day. And they've got a wealth of information on their site as well.
Absolutely.
So this is, if you're not familiar with Juzo, this is my Juzo work family. Anne Rose Zorn is there on the right. She is the great-great-granddaughter of Julius Zorn, which is where the name Juzo comes from. So we're fifth generation, family-owned and operated, woman-owned business. Her son and daughter are here to her right, Petra and Walter. Petra's president of the United States productions, and Walter's head of manufacturing productions. So next generation already in place, ready to take over. So for us, we love being a family owned and operated company. It just takes all the money people out of the equation who are saying, where's my piece of the pie, and quit doing so many remakes and whatever else. It's just what's best for the patient, and let's figure out how to get that done, and everything else will work out. We do have manufacturing in Germany. Germany's where it all started. Germany handles most of the world. The nice thing is that we also have manufacturing in Cuyahoga Falls, up around Cleveland, about 45 minutes south of Cleveland. So for you, the nice thing is that this means most of the boxes that your patients will see will say made in the USA. And they are made in the USA, not just a tag sewn in or put in a box in the US. We actually have our manufacturing on site. And you're welcome to come up and visit the factory anytime. We'll take you on a tour, buy you lunch, and entertain you. So it's a good opportunity if you've never seen compression stockings being made in a nice medical facility. That's a good chance for you to be up there. So we do have a wide range of products, prosthetic shrinkers, silver, all kinds of different things, bracing. But obviously what's most important to you all is the compression stockings and wraps and bandaging solutions. So where do we begin? Where do your patients begin? Type it into Google. I need some compression stockings. And it's important to remember that even if you're new as a therapist, you have a lot more training and a different perspective than your patient who may have just heard the word lymphedema for the first time 3 weeks before they came to see you. So they have their own perspective coming into this thing, and you have yours. So I thought I would take a little bit of time to just talk about and remind ourselves not to get lost in our own bubbles, because it's very easy to look at this and say, wow, state-of-the-art hot tub. I mean, if you got this on your driveway, what are you thinking is on the inside of that? Are you thinking this? Or are you thinking this? Very different things. All are probably true if it says state-of-the-art hot tub, depending on your perspective. These guys think this is state-of-the-art. Not my idea, but it can be frustrating. And you're like, I don't know how many times even I, during my days, like, that is not what I said, or not in my head what I thought I said. And whether it's a therapist misunderstanding or a patient misunderstanding or me misunderstanding what you've told me, um, it can get messy. And texting is great and our accessibility is awesome through technology, but a lot can get lost in translation along the way. So it's as we think about, I find that interesting in different clinics have different vernacular that we use. So some will say ready made, some will say over the counter, some will say off the shelf, some will say standard sizes. They all mean the same thing, but we can parse that out and our patients can't always do that. So
That's
let's,
right. One thing to that point too is like, and sorry to interrupt you, but we have always said like custom garments, right? Well, custom can be circular knit, it can be flat knit, whatever. And then we have this change in the industry saying made to measure or over the counter versus ready to wear. They're the same thing, but different people use it in a different way, you know.
right,
And even if you get down into 20 to 30, class one, class two, class three, depends. It depends on which one you're talking about.
right.
So there's you know
And it matters. And we can all get caught in the crossfire
Mhm.
of, yeah, we're busy. We're just trying to get things off our list. We're trying to, get this patient taken care of. We're at the end of treatment and now we're doing compression stockings. Let's, boom, boom, boom. Let's knock it out. And things can get missed pretty easily in the process. So I think we're all pretty clear that this is not what we're talking about in our context today about medical compression stockings. We are talking about the graduated compression. This is what we need.
Medical grade.
Yeah, medical grade. Again, medical grade. If we just say generally compression stockings, we know we mean this medical grade, but your patients have just Googled and gotten the 17,000 responses and options. And they're like, well, this one has narwhals on it. I want that one. You know, we have to kind of take a minute, take a breath, and have the conversation. No, this is different. This is built different than what you're seeing on the internet. So medical grade, we have terms when we discuss things like compression levels, graduation of compression, the different manufacturing processes that are available, whether it be circular, flat, or whatever. Containment, this is our goal. So we've got some things that were, plates that we're spinning to get here, but we need to contain that edema. So the amount of resistance the compression garment offers against that edema is what we're looking at as far as the effectiveness of this product. So the more resistance, the better containment. The more resistance can mean more pressure. So the things that you balance every day in this part of the process is, do I need to make it tighter or do I need to make the fabric thicker and leave it as tight as it is? So what's the best way to manage this particular patient's condition, their particular version of lymphedema? How quickly do they refill? How quickly do they reduce? How sensitive are they? How's the tissue? All these things we're taking into account, and where y'all can get hung up sometimes. And my wife is a lymphedema therapist, and she, every night over dinner, we're talking about, different garments. She's like, I just hate this part of the process. I'm like, you've been doing this for 16 years. You shouldn't hate this part of the process. It should be pretty easy. And she's like, well, there's so many things. It's like herding cats. It's like, which one, what battle am I going to fight here today? So, keeping in mind, Josh mentioned it, compression levels, millimeters of mercury. It's we like to encourage you all to think in classes. Medical grade is considered anything over 20, but you'll find that our made to measures, even in our circular knits, are all going to this European standard of 18 to 21, meaning class 1. So if you can really get yourself in the habit of thinking in classes versus the numbers, it'll help eliminate some of the confusion along the way, especially when you're transitioning between circular knit and flat knitted. But again, our church language, if you will, circular knitted equals seamless. They can be used interchangeably. Flat knitted typically, will always have a seam built up the back of it. So, this is a resource that's on that dealer resource center that you can find. It's an indications chart, and there's another handout that you'll have access to from this meeting that just helps you, again, just a quick reminder or just a quick check for yourself. Okay, I'm in, I just need a mild or moderate compression. Typically that's going to mean 20 to 30. Here's some indications to choose from, just to kind of double check yourself and make sure that you're heading down the right path. So we talk about density of the knit. This is whether it's manufactured as a circular knitted, flat knitted, or a compression wrap. This all is relative to how densely that garment is either knitted or fabricated. So your circular knitted, just as a reminder, is medical grade, but it will conform to the tissue. So as long as the limb looks like a limb, the patient might be a good candidate for a circular knit garment. Your flat knitted garments give more resistance. It's a thicker, sturdier, more rigorous material. Can be made to do any shape, size. And then your compression wraps that give you a lot of high working pressure. So there's our three categories, our main buckets. Your circular knitted, breathable, soft. These are things. That's right. These are things that are typically in the box. These are your ready to wear or off the shelf standard sizes, all the things, I'm a size 2 regular. It's already made in a box, ready to go, ships out more quickly, less expensive because the labor is less intense. Typically stage 1, stage 2, appropriate lymphedema. You can do custom in circular knitted garments, but you just need to ask yourself the question, take a pause and say, is this still the correct, appropriate fabric for this patient? We can make one for, a very large circumference patient, but is that really going to be effective, or is that just going to be, yoga pants at Walmart on a bad night? Some things people just don't want to see, or it's not going to be helpful. Flat knitted is coming off the loom as a regular, flat piece of material that we fold in half, sew a seam up the back, but we can accommodate all different shapes and sizes with that. It's an example of what a custom glove looks like, made to measure glove. Comes off the machine as this flat piece with the trim. And then the sewing department needs to take all their skill and time and resources to fit it all together, flatten out all the seams, trim all the pieces, make sure it's all exactly how your patient needs it to be. Wraps, completely different animals than elastic garments. So these can work as a reduction tool, as you know. Multi-layer bandaging, we would say, is still the gold standard in the decongestive phase, but these can help to supplement that or to help in that time. But they can also be used as a maintenance tool like your elastic garments would be. So elastic garments, their goal is to preserve the limb size. These are not reduction tools. They provide resting pressure, which helps support the venous system below the surface of the skin, gives you that graduated compression. This is at the end of the process. Your inelastic garments, which would be your wraps, can preserve the limb size, but they will also have a working pressure reduction feature to them as well. Mechanism action is different on these. There's not a 20 to 30 wrap or a 30 to 40 wrap. These are audience participation type garments. Put them on, pull them tight in the morning. As your patient moves around and that muscle pushes against that rigid wall, it's going to help push that fluid out. Patient needs to undo the straps, pull it snug again. This is something you adjust a few times during the day as you're moving around, depending on how active you are. But this is not a put it on and forget about it type thing. You can teach your patient, okay, this is what it should, this is where I want you to have it. You can mark these with chalk of generally here's where your strap should at least be, but resist the urge to say, put the straps here every time and leave it alone and you're going to be fine, because this is not how these particular garments work. And that's true about all the wraps that are out there. So things that you're looking at and listening to your patient while you're treating them, taking notes of their age, their lifestyle, skin integrity, how long they've had lymphedema, what else is going on with them health-wise. Is this the first time they're ever going to have worn compression? These are all things that the sooner you can find out, the easier it's going to be for you to make the garment decision at the end of the process. So why medical compression? We all know this, but this does manage a condition. It's going to increase the pressure on the tissues, prevent reaccumulation of fluid, decreasing the diffusion distance, right? So as that cell space expands, the edema gets in there, that again, starts to affect healing, nutrition to the cells, nutrition to the skin. So we start ending up with things with skin breakdowns and issues with that. So we all know that, even if your patient isn't seeing the swelling, if they're like, oh, I feel like I'm the same, but you're taking volume measurements and you're saying things are changing, whether you're noticing or not. And typically they're not, but it's important to just keep reinforcing, as you know, with them that this is important stuff. The more you let this go, the more we have to do to undo that. All the different things with wound care start getting involved as these conditions and as that distance increases within the cells. So pick a word picture, whatever is good for you and your patients to help make that light bulb go on with them. It's similar. Hey, do you have high blood pressure? You're going to take a pill every day to manage that condition. Most people don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, I wonder if I want to see. No, you put your glasses on, you go, I wonder if I want to hear today. No, you put your hearing aids in and you go about your day. Donning devices are really important in this process. Nobody should be spending 45 minutes every morning putting their compression garments on. So
That's right.
We have one. We think it's awesome. I don't get hung up on the donning device. If it's a Walmart bag that helps them get it on somehow, I'm okay with that. I just hate to hear patients saying, yeah, once I get them on, they're fine, but it takes me an hour. It's like, let's help them. Let's get them, the best chance of success that they can have. If you haven't heard these, you will. You're probably tired of hearing them, but don't go deaf to these, because your patient are, they're telling you their experience, whether it's true or made up in their head. This could be real to them. I can't get them on. They're uncomfortable once they are on. They're too hot. They're too ugly. I'm allergic. All these different reasons why they can or won't wear compression. There are no U.S. standards in place for compression garments. So we're now affecting compression class, gradient pressure, medical effectiveness. All of these things are compromised because there aren't strict standards in place to make sure that what someone says is in the box is actually in the box. Just means anybody can make a compression garment. So going back to that first screen, where do you start? A lot of people start, we affectionately call it crap pression. There's a lot of garbage out there, right? It could be pretty, could be a lot of fun patterns and animals, and oh, that one looks like my dog. It's just not what your patients need. Something is not always better than nothing. I hear this in clinics on the regular of, well, at least I got them into something. You need to be really careful just giving that advice. You are the experts. You're the professionals. It's okay for you to say, no, patient, you need to listen to me. This is what you need. I understand you can find something out there for $5 with a pretty picture on it. This is not what you need. So don't let
Sure.
them bully you into, saying, well, at least I got something.
Right.
We always say medicine doesn't have to taste bad to be effective. We, as Juzo, do a lot in our manufacturing, but behind the scenes, built into the DNA of those garments and of our company to give your patients the best opportunity for success. Two-way stretch is a big thing with our company. Think about the little baby crawling across your TV screen, no leaks, no gaps, because that garment is moving with them. If this garment doesn't stretch easily, it's going to be very difficult to get on in the first place. And then once you get it on, it's going to, potentially bind at the ankle, behind the knee. It's not going to move when you go to sit down. It's going to pinch. These are all things that feed into the patients believing compression is terrible. I hate it. It just doesn't work. We use covered threads on a majority of our products. This is if you think about an office rubber band versus a ponytail holder for the ladies in the group or the men with long hair. Most people do not choose to put their hair up in an office rubber band because it's sticky, it's hot, it grabs everything. When you cover that compression thread, it helps it glide over the skin more easily, helps moisture evaporate to air get around that thread, makes the thread more durable, means the garment is more durable over time because it's less resistant to getting nicked or snagged or different things like that. So this is a big part of the process that makes your patient's experience much better. Our entire line is latex free. That includes all of our accessories. So our Slippy Gator pad that's used with our donning devices, our donning gloves, and all of our garments are latex free. So this is not a question you need to ask your patients necessarily. Hey, are you allergic? Are you possibly allergic? This isn't going to come into play. The nice thing about this is that they can use their lotions and potions and everything they need on their skin. It's going to not affect that compression thread, and mostly importantly is that heat is not going to affect it. So you're probably familiar with these. The LTA is giving your patients 3 daytime garments replaced every 6 months, 2 nighttime garments every 2 years. This just enhances the reasoning and the importance of getting good quality compression from the jump, because they can get 3 of the crap pression garments. That's just going to compound their problem. They're just getting more things that are not great for them. So again, be brave, tell them what they need, get them into a good quality product. As far as care of our products, these are easily taken care of. No, go ahead. Garment bags are a great thing. We do have a Juzo garment bag available that we can get to you for a minimal fee, or unless your rep really likes you and he can send you some. But patients can get these. It's a great protection for the investment of the garments, minimizes the wear of the machine against the garments. A pillowcase will work with a knot in it if you need to, but they're not indestructible. Mild detergent, no woolite, nothing that softens, whitens, brightens, all that good stuff, just basic detergent. I have no fragrance here, and our bottle says light citrus, so it does have a little bit of a smell to it, but basically you're just wanting, keep the integrity of that garment. Anything that softens, especially. Machine wash daily. Our replacements are every 6 months, and that's assuming that it's being washed and dried every day. They don't have to run a whole load of laundry every day. You can hand wash them. You want them to be clean, but
I think that's why, when Medicare came out with with the initial ruling of the LTA, they wanted to give us 2 garments, and the USMCA actually fought to get 3, right? And 1. And that was 1 to wear, 1 to wash, 1 to keep in the drawer. So you're not having to do this daily.
right.
And I think that's a very important thing to remember. The nice thing is you can wash these in the machine, because if you go back in time, everybody was saying, "Oh, we got to hand wash these things. We got to hang them up to dry. We got to do that." It's not the case now. And so it's an amazing thing. It
Yeah,
helps out a lot. But now they can get three and they can machine wash them. Makes their lives easier.
right. And even more importantly,
And
they machine dry them. Yep.
yeah.
So they want heat on them. These do have memory threads in them. So they're like, well, it's way more comfortable after I wear them for 4 days straight. Sure. Yeah,
Sure.
they're becoming yoga pants. So,
Yeah, that's
we
right.
don't want
That's
that.
right. Yeah.
Uh, just a few little quick tips. Go ahead. Unboxing. Yeah, it's okay to stretch these things out. Gloves, especially around the fingers, they can use a little tug just to, yeah, loosen them up a little bit, soften them up a little bit out of the box. They can, all compression garments can be a little stiff. So, yeah,
I mean, you look at it from the standpoint, you ever had a patient pull one out of the box and go, there's no way this is going to fit my leg.
right.
Is this really a thigh high? Yes, it really is. And yes, it will stretch.
and
So,
they do.
yeah,
But yeah,
that's
it's
right.
okay. It's not saying anything bad about the garment if you
That's
give it a
right.
little
You're supposed
stretch at
to.
the beginning. Donning gloves are a great addition. In our ideal world, nothing should be sold as a compression garment without donning gloves. You can, rubber kitchen gloves, whatever they have, but something that's going to protect from fingernails and diamond rings and, things that can damage a stocking.
That's right.
Proper placement is really important, especially with Juzo products that have a lot of that two-way stretch. These are not just because you can doesn't mean you should. I've had patients in front of me pull a knee high up to the top of their thigh saying, this is how we wear them in ballet. It's like, sure, but this isn't ballet. So the proper thing is to get that upper band in its proper place, avoid binding and irritation like that bottom picture, and then stretch the garment out evenly over the limb. We do offer functional zones. This is a new addition and you may not have seen from Juzo yet, but um, at the ankle, behind the knee, at the elbow, these are sewing options that we offer that just helps to release that tension a little bit in those areas to soften it up for patients who, have complained in the past, or you feel like just from their anatomy, they may benefit from that.
And I think using the functional zones and things like that, I mean, these are necessary in my opinion. Like I've always used these when I'm doing my fittings. So definitely give them a try if you haven't before, because it does make the patient experience better. So
Yeah, and sometimes that's an actual thing, sometimes it's a perceived thing, and if that's what it takes to help them get over the hump of, "Hey, it's uncomfortable. Oh, look, I've got a solution for you. We're gonna build it this way," then you won't have this issue, and sometimes that's enough to get them over that emotional hurdle that they might have.
that's right.
So, these should never hurt, we know this, they should be snug with no binding and no slipping. So some products real quick, and just in case for some reason you don't know that we have these things, because I still have people tell me, oh, I didn't know you had colors, or I didn't know you could do these tie-dye. And after 15 years with Juzo, I still pull a lot of my hair out. Just thinking, I think I know I said this, but so this is our Reversa wrap. This was the wrap that we had forever and ever. It is reversible, hence the name. So you can wear it beige side out or black side out. We give you a very generous circumference on the calf of 70 centimeters, and we give you the option of adding a 10-centimeter extender strap to that. So now you're at 80 for a calf size. That's a pretty generous fit there. The next slide,
Right.
you'll
You know,
see.
one thing that I want to point out, and sorry, I'll move forward here in a second, but the one thing I want to point out on this as well is this is considered a daytime garment, right? And so if you've got a patient out there that will really need a couple other daytime garments, or maybe even three daytime garments, one of the things you can do is you can order the Reversa, but you can order it with a pad, because if you put a pad underneath it, we can actually bill it out as a DME, we can bill that as a nighttime garment. So it is possible to bill these as a nighttime. They just have to have the right equipment to go with them. You have to be using them as a nighttime garment. And in order to do that, it has to be padded. So you order the pad with them. You can actually bill this as a nighttime and save yourself a daytime garment for later. If the patient needs that. If they don't, you can go straight to use it as a daytime and then order them two other, whatever it is, flat knit, ready to wear, whatever it is that you're going with that. But I just wanted to point that out because it's something that a lot of people miss. So, and Julie, just while we're talking about products, Julie just mentioned that she's really looking forward to the new trend colors that are coming out April 1st.
Yeah.
So,
So we do offer you all the body parts. We don't do strict custom in these wraps, but they are trimmable. So if a strap is landing too far, wrapped around the back of a limb, or if you just feel like it's going to be a better fit this way, that way, another way, you can trim these, and the fabric is sturdy and stable enough to do that. But they're not designed to go from a 3XL down to a 1 at, a size small, but you can semi customize these for your patient to get the best fit. Okay.
absolutely.
So this is our newest addition to the wrap collection. So this is our cooling wrap. This has been the hottest new launch of a product that Juzo has had in my experience and my history with the company. This is the only thing like it on the market. It's got this cooling feature. If you go to the next slide, the technology is such that the inner core is thinner and perforated. The Burr technology that you might be familiar with, the BRR cooling fibers, is built into that layer against the skin. And all of this helps promote moisture movement away from the skin and off of the garment. We do a little show with a water dropper and put a drop of water on our reversa wrap, the cooling wrap, and on any competitor's brand. And you can see a marked difference in how this will diffuse that liquid, get it off and evaporate it versus just staying as a solid drop of water on some of the other brands. So especially for wound care, but for your lymphedema patients also who have skin integrity issues, or you just live in the South and it's hot, this is a great option for them.
Yeah. Hey, Stacy came up with a question real quick, and it's a really good question. What is the insurance coverage for a cooling wrap? And I don't expect you to jump right in there, Jeff. You probably know it, but just so you know, we can bill this cooling wrap. It is possible. There are some that have happened in the past that they're not made from the burr material, but they say they are cooling. I don't know, but I've seen some other off brands say that. If you go to Amazon, you can pretty much find anything, but it's not medical grade at that point. But a lot of times the cost of those drive it up above what Medicare is actually allowing for that. In Juzo's case, we absolutely can bill the cooling compression wrap. So it is within the allowable of Medicare. We can get that done for you. And it bills out as a daytime garment.
Yeah, it's a minimal price change between this and a regular wrap. And as far as the general umbrella, it's considered a wrap. So it's not like going to a custom color or a print series type sleeve that we have, that might be considered an upcharge or push it out of that reimbursable, pain point. So.
And Julie actually has a question too. Does the cooling wrap come with a liner? And I
It
don't know
does.
the answer. Okay.
It does. It comes
Awesome.
with a pair of socks. If you're going for the coolest experience, I would wear it without the socks. They don't impede. I
Then you
mean,
got the burr up
yeah.
against your skin. That makes sense.
And the
The
socks the liners don't have cotton in them, so they're not going to hold that moisture against the skin. They're going to aid in moving that moisture to the wrap to be, completely removed and evaporated. So you're not going to compromise anything with that. So if you need it to go over a wound dressing to keep that, your, skin that's leaking, anything like that, to keep the wrap cleaner, certainly use the socks, but you don't have to.
Yeah. And one thing too, to let everyone know on here, from a billing standpoint, from what can we do with that? The liners, a lot of times the reason people use the liners is because they don't have to wash their Velcro garment as often. They can wash the liners and then just change out the liners on a daily basis. Well, that still leaves you with what, two liners when you get the wraps, Jeff? So
Yeah, if you get a calf wrap, you get a pair of socks, so you get 2
yeah,
socks, and everything is
yeah.
à la carte, so if you wanna get just another pair of socks or, 3 pair, you can do that without buying a wrap each
So you
time.
get so you're getting 2 liners with every wrap.
Right.
Okay, and is that true with the Reversa as well?
It
Or is
is. Yep,
okay, that's perfect. So the nice thing about that though is if you need extra liners, you can actually get extra liners.
yep.
So just when you send in the order to us, just hey, we want the cooling, we want the reverse, or whatever it is that you're ordering, and then just ask for order the extra liners, and we can always add those to it. It's not a big deal. Insurance companies will pay for those extra liners, so we can do that. Another question came in from Geraldine. She says, "Does this require daily washing?" And I think I kind of answered that on accident. I don't think you don't have to wash the actual wrap on a daily basis, but I would if you're using it up against the skin, absolutely yes. But if you are using that liner, you can wash the liner and just replace the liners, and you don't have to wash them unless they are actually soiled. Now, and I'm sorry, I'm just answering that for you, Jeff, but you
No,
might have a better
that's
answer.
perfect. They are different from the elastic garment, so we're not talking about memory threads and different things like that. Putting these in the wash is not going to restore its original shape. This is a cleanliness thing, so really your issue is it dirty? Does it need to be cleaned? The Reversa can obviously just wear the other color facing out, and you've got a clean, thing against your skin, and then you can wash it, but, um the other thing about the a la carte features of these wraps is that the Velcro is removable. So if the dog eats the Velcro tab, you don't have to buy a new wrap. They're not sewn in. So you can just get another little bag of tabs, put the new tabs on, and you're ready to go.
That's right.
So our Power sock collection, all of our socks now are under this Power umbrella. You can just flip through these. We've got 6 different versions. We've got a Power Comfort that's a little more athletic looking. We've got Power Light, which is just a lightweight sock, black or white, gives you that graduated medical compression. All of these are available in 15 to 20 or 20 to 30 options. We've got Power Vibe if you need a little style into the mix. So we got some different patterns. I haven't heard if we're going to add to these yet or not, but chances are we will. Power Wool. This is a all season wool. Don't think, well, once it's summer, I'm not going to wear wool. I wore these last summer when they first came out, and they're super comfortable. Power Cotton. Just a great I don't want to say trouser sock because it's not, but it's a nice dress sock. So if you were familiar with our dynamic cotton, that's been discontinued. The Power Cotton has taken its place. This is the sock that I wear 90% of the time now. Power RX, this used to be called our diabetic sock, but it was getting kind of stuck into a hole of only diabetics looking at it. But this is a great extra cushioning, flat seamed, moisture wicking, all the different things that are great for diabetics, but not necessarily only for diabetics. Move, if you're not familiar with Move, I'm going to encourage you to reach out to your rep and get a sample of this, try it on a patient. This lands in our line between soft and dynamic. So it gives you more containment than soft, sturdier than soft, not quite as much containment as dynamic, but it's got this patented glide technology built into the sewing part around the ankle. So it does open up a little easier. We've taken some of the two-way stretch out of it so that pulling force is more directed. So elderly patients, people who struggle to get stockings on, this is an amazing option for them. Very comfortable, does give you a max circumference option as well at the calf.
Nice. Yeah.
Sensation, if you have lipedema, lipolipedema patients, this is our answer to that. Micromassaging weave, take a look at the next slide. Available in beige or black, pantyhose, capris, or biker shorts. 15 to 20 compression only, just by design. We're looking at a lipedema patient, which is not so much about edema, but that fat disorder. So we're trying to relieve some of the heaviness of that tissue, offer some massage to help reduce some of the pain and discomfort that they might have. This is covered with a lymphedema diagnosis. That has to be in there for the LTA if that's where you're going with a lipolymphedema patient. We talked about this a little bit. We do have the donning and doffing accessories. We've got our Slippy Gator for lower and upper extremity. We have the slippery lotion, the sticky lotion, donning gloves, laundry bags, all the different things you need for that.
I think we hit all the questions that were coming up as they came up, but if you would like to ask any more questions, please post it in the comments down there. We'll be happy to answer it. Also, I do have my team standing by in our lounge area. For those of you who have signed up for other classes, I know we've got another one starting in a few minutes here, but I did put the link to the Microsoft Teams meeting. If you click that link in the chat, I know it's long, but it'll get you there. It will get you over to the next to just like a place to hang out for a minute, ask a few additional questions. I've got team members hanging out in there. Are you? We did have a question coming in. So, are you saying the sensation is covered at that compression level with an I-89 DX? The answer to that is yes. I can honestly answer that. As a billing company, we do bill the sensation all the time. It's very possible. I thought under 20 was not covered. That actually is that is older. Rosemarie says great, by the way. That is actually an older method of billing. When Medicare launched the LTA, they actually said 18 to 30 is covered, and so a 15 to 20 does fall into that spectrum. It's all about the classifications again. Like they say 18 to 30 instead of 15 to 20, 22, 30. They're just saying a range there that encompasses the 15 to 20. So now we can go under that 20 millimeters of mercury, which more closely lines up with the international standard instead of just being here in the US where we're saying 20 to 30. That's what it is. It's actually, there's actually different classifications actually in there. What 18 to 21, 23 to 32.
If you look at the flatnet categories, that'll give you an idea of I think where the movement is going. So I don't know how many years down the road, but you may see that everything just changes to that 18 to 21, 20, those categories.
I believe that's actually going to happen as well. Janice, how do I print the handouts? You should be able, from our website clicks, you should be able to click on them and download them, and then you would be able to actually print them out. I will make sure that you get a link. I just I'm just keeping a list of things that I need to make sure of. And if you can't get it to work, I will make sure that I shoot you an email offline from everyone else and get those documents out to you.
And that handout is in the Dealer Resource Center too. So if you do sign up for that, I think it's one of the boxes on the landing page that you'll get to, the first page, that it'll include that indications chart in there.
Yeah. So I definitely appreciate everybody being here. I know we ran a little bit over on time, but I think that was mostly my fault not advancing the slides properly for Jeff here, keeping him on his toes this morning. So, but I really do appreciate everybody being here. And if you're joining us for some other sessions throughout the day, I look forward to seeing you there. If there's anything we can do for you, my email is Joshua, JOSHUA, at compressioncare.com. I'm putting it up there right now. Feel free to shoot me an email. We'll make sure that we get you anything you need, and I definitely appreciate it. Jeff, thank you so much for being here. We're getting a lot of people writing in right now and just saying thank you. So everybody does appreciate it, and I really appreciate you being a part of this. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.